is Jordan, and I'll be guiding you through the next 40 minutes of Vinyasa Flow. Please just have with you water, your mat, and maybe a little blanket or towel. We're going to be working on Sirsasana today, or Headstand, and so we'll take you through all the procedures up until that point to make sure that you're really ready to explore the posture. Please don't be intimidated at all. There will be all types of levels and stopping points wherever you feel comfortable. And then, as always, throughout practice, if you want to rest in child's pose or take a break, please just listen to your body. Let's get started. Lying down on our back. Extend your feet long towards the edges of your mat. And come to recline down on your back. Let your arms fall out wide, your fingertips facing the ceiling. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Again, just like that, deep breath in and a deep breath out. Start to let your mind slow so that your body can catch up. So often our mind is racing ahead of our body. And what our body needs is for our mind to listen to its ebbs and flows. It needs our mind to settle so that it can communicate what it needs. Notice what parts of your body are connecting with your mat. Maybe that's your heels, your glutes, the back of your palms or elbows, your shoulder blades, the back of your head. And then notice what parts float above the earth, weightless, like they're floating in the water. Maybe that's the back of your neck, your low back, the back of your knees. The intention for today's practice is to ebb and flow. Like an ocean wave, noticing how different movements land as you start to slow down, how one side feels different than the other, really tuning in to the ebbs and flows of your body, slowing your mind down so that the body can communicate. Start to bring a little bit of movement into your fingers and toes. And gently draw your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a big hug. Curl your nose up towards your knees. And maybe rock back and forth, massaging out your low back. And then gently blink your eyes open. Start to rock and roll up and down the length of your spine. And make your way up into a seat. Sit cross-legged, facing the top of your mat. Ground down through your sit bones. Maybe shift from side to side so that you can really feel your strong, stable base. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears and roll your shoulders down your back. Shift your chest back in space so that it's in alignment over your hips. And then find the soft palate of your mouth, just with your tongue just behind the hard roof of your mouth. Bring that into your third eye, bring that into your mind's eye, and then start to shift that back in space as well, stacking the bones over your stable base. Start to ignite your Ujjayi breath like an ocean wave, breathing in through your nose and And for this first breath, breathe out the sound ha. Again, breathe in through your nose. Maybe put your hand in front of your face. Feel the air traveling in towards your hand. Breathe in through your nose. This time, slowly close your lips as you ha. Again, just like that. Inhale through your nose. Start with your ha and then close your lips. Feel it translate into your nose. This time, seal your lips. Breathe in. Same sound, but just through your nose. Keep breathing in and out through your nose with that slight constriction in the back of your throat. Your Ujjayi breath, building up heat. If your eyes are closed, blink them open. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and overhead. Exhale, drop your right hand down towards your side. Reach your left arm tall and over towards the right for a lateral stretch. Each breath in, see if you can just come up a little bit. And then exhale, sink a little bit lower. Roll your left shoulder back in space so that you're not hunching forward. Open up through the armpit, through the chest. Maybe gaze up towards the ceiling. Inhale, back through center. Reach both arms up high. Exhale, bend towards the left. Draw the right arm up tall and then over towards the left. Inhale, lift up slightly. Exhale, deepen the bend. And then roll your right shoulder back in space. Open up through the collarbones. Maybe gaze up towards the ceiling. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, twist towards the right side. Drop your right hand behind you, your left hand towards the outside of your right knee. Exhale as you sink into this twist. Inhale, broaden across your collarbones. Reach the crown of your head towards the ceiling. Exhale, see if you can twist your ribs a little bit more towards the right. Maybe you gaze back over your right shoulder. Inhale, slowly unwind, come back to center. Exhale, other side. Drop your left hand down behind you. Reach your right hand to the inside of your left thigh and sink down into the twist. Take a breath in, lengthen your spine, broaden across your collarbones. Exhale, see if you can twist your ribs a little bit more towards the right side, towards the left side. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, place your palms on the mat in front of you. Come into tabletop. Stack your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your wrists. And then from here, lower down onto your forearms. Your arms should be like an 11, the number 11. Spread your palms wide, your fingers wide. Ground down through all 10 fingers. And from here, inhale into a slight cow pose. You're already in that position with your back, your stomach sinking down. So just slight cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Push down through your entire forearms. Lift your shoulder blades away from each other and drop your chin towards your chest. Inhale, back through cow pose. Gently bring the gaze towards the edge of the mat. Exhale, cat pose. Press down, broaden across the shoulder blades. Energetic line from your fingertips to the tips of your elbows, pressing down into your mat. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. And then bring yourself back through neutral. Press up into tabletop. Inhale, tuck your toes underneath. Exhale, shift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Maybe you walk your stance a little bit longer. And start to pedal out your feet here. Let your head hang heavy towards your mat, while still maintaining a nice strong grounding down through all 10 fingertips. Maybe you walk out your dog, shift your hips from side to side. Inhale, bend your knees, gaze forward. Exhale, take 10 tiny little steps all the way to the top of the mat. And once you arrive, forward fold, melt your chest over your thighs, feet hips width distance apart. Let your head hang heavy towards your mat, the back of your neck release, and then have a generous bend in your knees. Option 2, grab for opposite elbows, and maybe you take them in a figure 8 motion. Maybe nod your head yes, shake your head no, and release your hands back down to the earth. Toe heel your feet in together slightly. Inhale, halfway lift, slide your fingertips up your shins. Extend the crown of your head long towards the front of your mat. Exhale, forward fold, back down. Ground down through your feet. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, sweep your hands out to the side and up. Maybe gaze up, hands connect. Exhale, Samastitihi, hands through heart center. Take a moment to close down your eyes. And then slowly blink your eyes open. Check in with your feet. They can be hips width distance apart, or toe heel your toes together to touch, heels slightly apart. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, sweep your arms forward and up this time. Maybe gaze up. Exhale, drop your hands behind your head, palms together. Thumbs go towards the nape of your neck, elbows are pointing up towards the ceiling. And from here, press your elbows in towards one another. You don't have to squish your head, but press your hands, press your elbows in towards one another energetically so that the back of your shoulders turn on. Keep breathing here. Inhale, back up through center. Exhale, forward fold, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the left foot back in space. Drop your left knee down to the ground. Untuck your left toes. Energetically squeeze your right heel and your left knee towards one another. Find your balance. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, sweep your arms forward and up. Exhale, see if you can deepen the bend in your right knee. At this same time, see if you can try to just lengthen your tailbone slightly down towards the ground so it's not flaring up and you're dumping into your hip joints. You can also maintain this by squeezing your heel and your knee in towards one another. One more deep breath in, lengthen your fingertips higher towards the ceiling. Exhale, fold back over your right leg. Tuck your left toes under, step your right foot back, high plank. Ground down through all 10 fingertips and then squeeze your hands towards one another to turn on your chest muscles. Shift your heels over your toes and then fire up through the back line of your leg. So like your heels, your calves, the back of your thighs are trying to touch the ceiling. One more deep breath in, shift forward. Exhale, lower all the way down to the earth. Untuck your toes, plant your hands wide to the sides of your mat and tent your fingertips. So press down through all 10 fingertips and your palm is lifted off the ground, kind of like you're squeezing a tennis ball in your hand. Press down into your fingertips. Inhale, intimidating cobra. Peel your chest off the ground, gaze slightly up. Exhale, melt back down. You just want your gaze neutral, not strained at all. Inhale, intimidating cobra. Roll your shoulders down your back. Peel your chest off the ground. Exhale, melt back down. Slide your hands underneath your armpits. Press down into the earth, and then from your knees or your toes, inhale, shift up, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees, gaze forward. Exhale, step, jump, or hop to the top of your mat, forward folds. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, sweep your arms up and out. Palms to touch, exhale, Samasthiti. Take one deep breath here, in through your nose, out through your nose. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana, maybe gaze up. Exhale, drop your thumbs towards the back of your neck, lift your elbows towards the ceiling. Press into your palms, energetically squeeze your elbows towards one another. Keep breathing here. Inhale, back up through center, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, swan dive, forward folds. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back in space. Lower your right knee to the ground, untuck your right toes. Find your balance here by energetically squeezing your knee towards your heel and your heel back towards your knee. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, sweep your arms forward and up. Exhale, sink a little bit lower into your left heel, being mindful to lengthen your tailbone down towards the mat so you don't dump into your hips. Again, you can also do that. Energetically squeeze your legs towards one another like you're scissoring your legs in. One more breath in, reach your fingertips high. Exhale, fold back over your left leg. Untuck or tuck your right toes underneath. Press down into your palms, step back into a high plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower down halfway this time, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of choice, up dog or cobra. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees, gaze forward. Exhale, travel to the top of your mat, forward folds. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold over once more. We're gonna keep moving, keep building heat. Check in with your feet. They can be hips width distance apart if you have some knee pain, or toes together, heels slightly apart. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Sit your hips down and back, and then reach your arms forward and up to whatever height feels comfortable for you. That can be shoulder height or above the head. Exhale, sit the hips a little bit lower. In this posture, think about engaging the inner line of your legs. Squeeze your ankles towards one another, your knees, your inner thighs, and even think about squeezing your outer hips towards one another. Keep breathing here. Really firing up through the legs. And lengthen your tailbone down towards the earth. One more breath in. Exhale, drinking bird. Shift forward onto your toes. Extend your arms long behind you. And then energetically squeeze your hands towards one another like you're squeezing a big beach ball. Thumbs facing down towards the earth. Inhale, back to chair pose. Sit your hips down and back. Exhale, forward fold. Nice work. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step back, high plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, press your hips up and back, downward facing dog. And here would be a beautiful place to take child's pose. So just for a moment, let's come down to the mat. Big toes together, knees wide apart. Sink your hips towards your heels and extend your hands long towards the top of your mat. Let your third eye, the middle of your forehead, rest down on your mat. Just like we did standing, start to bring the palms of your hands together to touch. Elbows stay rooted to your mat and draw your thumbs towards the nape of your neck. Release your hands back down to the mat. Inhale, shift forward, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, three-legged dog. Pick up your right foot, extend it high towards the ceiling. Exhale, let your hip open up. Drop your right foot towards your right glute. Inhale, back up through center. Exhale, step your foot in between your hands. Find your balance, big transition. Inhale, warrior two. Spin your back heel down, open your arms up to a T. Check in with your feet and ensure that the heel of your front foot is in line with the arch of your back foot. Sink a little bit lower into your right knee and think about opening the right knee towards the pinky toe side of your right foot. Fire down through all 10 toes and then energetically squeeze your legs in towards one another without losing the depth of your front knee. Inhale, flip your front palm, reverse triangle. Start to straighten your front leg 95% of the way. Lift your right palm up and back. Exhale here. Again, think about squeezing your legs towards one another. And think about pushing your right hand back into the back wall like you're giving it a high five. One more breath in. Exhale, triangle pose. Extend your right palm forward and down to the inside of your right leg. You can come to rest against your shin. Press your right shin in towards your right hand and then your right hand back in towards your right shin. Lift your left palm up towards the sky, or it can stay on your hip. Maybe your gaze goes up. Think about lengthening both sides of your ribs. And then twisting a little bit more open. Big transition here. Engage your legs, squeeze your feet towards one another. Inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, chaturanga. Cartwheel your hands down, step your foot back, lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Moving into the other side, inhale, three-legged dog, pick your left leg up high. Exhale, roll your left hip open, draw your left foot in towards your left glute. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, step your foot in between your hands, find your balance. Big transition. Inhale, spin your back heel down, open up, warrior two. Check in with your feet. Extend your fingertips long and sink down just a little bit more into your left knee while drawing the left knee open towards the pinky toe side of your left foot. Inhale, flip your left palm, start to straighten your front leg. Reverse triangle. Exhale as you press your hand into the back wall behind you. Hand can be at the hips. or extend down the leg. One more breath in. Exhale. Triangle pose. Sweep your left palm forward and down to the inside of your left leg. Maybe walk your stance in just a little bit. Energetically squeeze your legs in towards one another. Then your right hand can come to rest on your hip or extend up towards the ceiling. Press your left palm into your left shin and your left shin back into your left palm to twist your ribs a little bit higher towards the ceiling. And then lengthen both sides of your ribs, not just the right side. Ground down through your feet. Inhale, back reverse triangle. Exhale, bend your front knee. Cartwheel your hands down, step back, and chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees, gaze forward. Exhale, start to walk your feet towards the top of your mat. Forward folds. Place weight into your left foot. Maybe you walk it a little bit more in towards the center of your mat. Pick up your right foot, bend your knee towards your glutes. And from here, standing split, however much you like today, you can start to lower the crown of your head towards the ground as you extend your right leg towards straight. Use your palms as balance points. And turn your right hip down slightly as you lift your left hip up to square your hips. Extend your leg as straight as you possibly can, your right leg. You can keep some bend in your left knee. And then from here, if you feel you have some balance, you can grasp your left shin with your left hand and start to draw your chin, your forehead towards your left shin. Inhale just once more, a little bit higher. Exhale, fold back down, forward fold. Release your right foot to the mat. And maybe give your hips a little bit of a shake out. Ground down through your right foot. And start to draw your left foot in towards your left glute. Let your head hang heavy. And then any point along the way that feels good for you, start to extend your left leg towards straight. Be aware of the different sensations from side to side. One last breath in. Exhale, release your left leg down towards the earth. Whew, that's a tough posture. Shift your hips from side to side. And make your way down into a seat. Come to lie down on your back. All right. Once you're here, draw your knees in towards your chest at a 90-degree angle. Flex your toes. Place your fingertips behind your ears. Inhale, lift your shoulder blades off the ground. Exhale, reach your right hand towards the left side of your leg. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, other side. Inhale, exhale, nice. Center, right, center, left, center, right, center, left. Two more. Last one. And release down to the earth. Nice.
All right, one more core exercise. Extend your legs long towards the ceiling. Flex your toes down towards your face. And then same position. We're going to inhale, lift your shoulder blades off the ground. Exhale, see if you can crunch just a little bit higher. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, crunch up. Inhale, lower, not all the way. Exhale, crunch up. And release back down to the earth. Take your feet wide towards the edges of your mat. Plant your feet down into the ground. And then take your knees from side to side, windshield wipers. All right, draw your knees in towards your chest. Rock and roll the length of your spine. And come up to a seat in the middle of your mat. So you want some room in front of you. Make your way onto your hands and knees. And then just have a seat back onto your heels. If this is uncomfortable, just sit crisscross. All right, so we're gonna move into Sirsasana or headstand. And I'll walk you through some of the steps towards it. And you're more than welcome to stop wherever you feel is good for your practice. But this is like a great jumping off point to continue that journey. All right, so we're gonna do one prep pose before we get into it. Bring your elbows down towards the mat again, just like we started when we were doing our modified cat-cows. And in this position, really press down into the earth, protract your shoulder blades, push down, widen the space in between them, tuck your toes underneath, and push your hips up and back like you're doing down dog. This is dolphin pose. Take deep breaths here. Focus on grounding through your forearms and pressing the mat away from you. Lift your hips high towards the ceiling. Take 2 more breaths here. And release your knees back down to the ground. Come up into a seat. And start to clasp your hands together. Release your pinkies so that they can move out from the clasp. And then layer your pinkies on top of one another so that they're stacked. The rest of your hands are interlocked. This is the position that we're going to come back to on the ground here for our headstand. Find the very, very top of your head. Yeah, just use a little bit of tactile to feel what's going to be placed on the ground. All right. Interlock your fingers again, release the pinkies, layer the pinkies on top of one another, and start to bring your hands towards the earth, right? Let your forearms be heavy down into the mat. We're going to be pressing into them again as we've done for most of the class today. Make sure that your pinkies feel comfortable, layered on the ground. They should have that flat, even surface. And then start to snuggle your head in towards your hands. The crown of your head should be on the ground. And the back of your head should be resting in this little basket that we've made. Okay, start to draw your elbows in towards one another just slightly. And then just like we did in dolphin pose, tuck your toes underneath, lift your hips up and back. And your arms should be squeezing towards one another, so much so that your head is just barely touching the earth. Press down into your forearms to feel your head lift off the ground a little bit. If you want to return, you can tap your knees back down to the earth or come back into dolphin or rest in child's pose for the rest of this time. If you want to take your headstand just a little bit further, again, come back down. Make that nice little basket for the back of your head. Plant the crown of your head down onto the earth. Press down into your forearms. Lift your hips up and back and start to walk your toes in towards your elbows. From here, you can play with picking up one set of toes, maybe the other, and maybe drawing your feet in towards your glutes. You're perfectly welcome to stay right here, or you can start to extend your legs long towards the ceiling. Slowly come out the way you came in. And then once you land, make sure to keep your head low to the earth. And wherever you are, find your way into child's pose. Gently start to shift your way forward into tabletop, keeping your head and neck really, really soft. And come down to lie on your stomach. You can stack your palms on top of one another and let your third eye rest on your palms like a little pillow. Let your heels splay out wide, your glutes relax. And maybe you rock your forehead side to side, massaging out that space in between your eyebrows. Release your hands from underneath your head, send them long towards your feet with your thumbs facing down. Press down into your toes so that your kneecaps lift up off the ground. And then roll your shoulder blades down your back, kind of like you're pinching your shoulder blades together. Inhale, lift your toes up off the ground. Lift your hands, your shoulders, your chest up off the ground. Breathe here, locust pose. Squeeze your hands in towards one another, again like you're grabbing that big beach ball. Lengthen the back of your neck. One more breath in to rise a little bit higher. Squeeze everything together. Exhale, release down to the earth. One more time, extend your arms long by your feet. Press your feet down into the earth, lift your kneecaps off the ground, engage your quads. Scoop your low belly up and off the ground. Roll your shoulder blades back, thumbs facing the earth. Inhale, lift everything up off the ground. Exhale, squeeze your hands towards one another. One more big breath in. Exhale, release. Find that little pillow again. Rest your third eye down. And maybe you draw your feet in towards your glutes and rock your feet from side to side. Without overthinking it, flip onto your back like a pancake. Extend your feet out long towards the edges of your mat. Draw your right knee in towards your chest. Give it a squeeze. And maybe rock it towards your heart and then back out towards your armpit. Draw your right knee over your chest. Bump your left hip underneath you. And then while keeping your shoulder blades on the ground, let your right knee fall towards the earth any amount. You can extend your arms out long and maybe gaze over your right hand. Draw your knee back in through center and send it long. Draw your left knee in, give it a squeeze, and shift it from side to side. Draw your left knee over your chest, bump your right hip underneath you, and then with both your shoulder blades on the ground, let your left knee fall any amount over to the right side. You can extend your arms long and gaze over your left hand. Draw your left knee back in through center. And start to slide your right knee in towards your chest just a little. Cross your left ankle just above your right knee. And you're perfectly welcome to stay here or start to interlace your fingers behind your right thigh. Flex your left toes. Draw your right knee in towards your chest while energetically pushing your left knee away from your left armpit. Release your right foot towards the earth and then your left foot follows. And switch, so draw your right ankle over your left knee. And then perfectly fine to stay here or start to interlace behind your left knee, drawing your left knee in towards your chest. Flex your right toes as you energetically press your right knee away from your right armpit. Release your left foot back down to the earth and then your right. Maybe knock your knees in towards one another. And then draw your knees in towards your chest. Reach for the outer edge of your feet and pull your knees down in towards your elbows for happy baby. Maybe straighten one leg and then the other. And take any other positions that feel really good for you to close out your practice. Find your way into your final Shavasana shape. Extend your legs out long, let your toes fall open. Walk your shoulder blades underneath your back and allow your palms to face the ceiling with your fingertips curling up naturally. And you can start to let go of your breath. Anything that's happened today is no longer your concern. And anything that will happen is not your concern yet. In this moment, you can rest. You're more than welcome to stay here for as long as you'd like. But if you're ready to start to move on with whatever you have next, bring a little bit of movement into your fingers and toes. into your wrists and ankles. And take a big good morning stretch by reaching your hands way overhead. And then coming to roll onto whatever side feels best for you. Fetal pose. Draw your knees in towards your chest and use your bicep as a pillow. I encourage you to bring to mind one thing you're grateful for today. And then using your palms, press yourself up into a seat, keeping your head and your neck heavy, your gaze soft. Find your way into a seat and rest your palms down on your thighs. We'll close practice today with 2 breaths. Wherever you are, empty out all the air in your lungs. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And a slow and controlled sigh out your mouth. One more, just like that, deepest breath you've taken today, in through the nose. And slow and controlled out the mouth. Thank you so much for joining practice today. Thank you for your light, your energy, and your time. I'll see you next time. Mahalo.